Let's get started with what are the software you need to get started with this React.js. So make sure everyone having the Node.js. Do you have Node.js on your machine? As in for the development tool, we will use here React CLI. So make sure you having the React CLI installed. This is the command you need to run here for the React CLI. And as an IDE, we will use here VS Code. I'm having the command prompt. Let me check whether I'm having the Node.js in my local machine or not. So I'm just going to run here a command node space dash version. So you can see I'm having the node 14.16.1. This is the version of Node.js I'm having. Now you need to run here the React CLI. So for the React CLI, make sure you are running the command npmi. Then we having here create React app, and this one you need to install here globally. So I'm using here -g. So after installing the Node.js, I'm just going to install here React CLI, because we will use here React CLI for creating the React application, for building the React code. So make sure everyone having the React CLI. If you will create the React project one time. So now what I'm doing here, I'm just going to create my first React application using the command prompt and using the React CLI. So I'm just using a React CLI. So just do one thing. In my C drive, I'm having a folder with the name code. Now I'm going inside the folder code. So anywhere you can create a folder. Let's say in C drive, you can create a folder with the name code, and in the code folder, now here use the React CLI. I'm using here create React app. This is the React CLI I'm using here. Create React app. So when it is coming to creating the React application, so here this is the way we install the React CLI globally. Then we can create the React application, then define your application name, then go inside your application, then start the application over there. So these are set of commands you need to run to create your React application using the React CLI. Okay, the same thing I'm doing here. I'm just defining my application name. Let's say React Bootcamp is my application name. Then React Bootcamp. This is the command you need to run here. Now I'm having the option to start my React application. So I'm using here VS Code ID. Let me open the VS Code ID and the same folder I'm going to open it here. Open the VS Code, then go inside your C drive, and in the C drive we having a code folder. Then I created this one React Bootcamp. This folder I'm opening. This is the way. So these files has been created by the React CLI here. If I'm looking at we having here app.js, it's a app component which is going to be rendered on this index.js file. So in the index.js file, if you're looking at, we are importing the React library, we are importing the React DOM, we are importing the CSS file, we are importing the app component. And now this is the way how we are rendering our app component inside the element root. So you might having here the element root over there. So where is root element? Root element is the part of index.html. So here we are building the single page application. So when it is coming to the single page application, so in the single page application, we having a one index.html, which is going to responsible to render all the necessary dependencies which are going to be used our application. So same thing is happening here. Here we are using here index.html, where all the necessary dependencies will be loaded for our React application. And here we having a container div having the ID root. So I'm using here ID root here. So using this root ID, I'm just accessing in my index.js. If you're looking at the index.js, I'm using the document.getElement by ID. Using that, we can access it. Simple. Okay, so this is the way how the React application has been set up. How many people has opened? If you have opened this React application, please do confirm. If in your case it is taking the time, you can use the code sandbox as well. If it is taking the time in a local machine, because code sandbox also having the option for getting started with your Angular, for getting started with your React. Okay, thank you for the confirmation if you have opened it. So guys who join late, I'm telling to those people. So guys, it's a complete hands-on session. So make sure you having system ready with you. But the system ready, if you're going to configure the system, that takes time. So better ways here, you can go ahead with the code sandbox. I'm sharing the link again. So by opening the code sandbox, you can do the practice of your session. You don't need to worry about to set up the things again in your local machine. Just go ahead with the code sandbox simply. Okay. So let's go ahead with the code. What is going to be created now? Open the terminal. So here you will find out a terminal with option over there. In the terminal, I'm having the option here, this new terminal. This is the way we having the terminal here. And from the terminal, you need to run the command npm start. So npm start command you need to run here. I'm running it. Project structure I didn't explain so far. I will explain it. Don't worry. So when you will open it in your local machine, you will get this output localhost 3000. So this is the way I'm getting the output for my React application. I hope you are also getting the same output if you're running it from the VS Code. But if you're running from the code sandbox, you will get this way. Okay. So now I hope you're getting the same output. Can you confirm through the chat window if you're getting the same output? So guys, here explain here, we are building a single page application. So in the single page application, we need a index.html file. So this is my index.html, which is a part of this public folder over there. So in this public folder, we having the index.html. And at this index.html, we having a div. If you're looking at this index.html, we having this div. So inside this div, we are going to initialize our React application. So using the plain JavaScript, I can get this div using the document.getElement by ID. So here in this div container, we are going to initialize our React application. So when it is coming to the index.js, so this index.js, you will find out in index.js what we are doing. We are just using a document.getElement by ID. Then this is my root. The same ID I'm just going to use over there. And in the React, we having the React library, we having the React DOM library. So this React library is providing us the core functionality available in the React. And this React DOM library, they design especially for the browser, for rendering your website. Because the React.js you can use with the for building the mobile application. So there you need to use React Native if you're building the mobile application. Apart from these two library, we are importing the other things. We are importing the CSS, app component file. Then in the React DOM, we having a method, React DOM.render method. There I'm just calling the app component. And here React it is using is in the strict mode. It is the same strict mode we having in the JavaScript. So this is the way how the React application is going to render here. And if you will look inside this app.js file, in the app.js file, we having a simple markup. In the simple markup, you will see we having a image where we are rendering the React logo. So where the React logo we having here. So React logo is coming. These are the logo file we having for React.js. And then we having a paragraph where we just adding here code app.js. We having an anchor tag and same things are coming. So when it is coming to your UI, same is coming. This is the logo and this is the added as rcapp.js and save to reload. And this is the link they have given to learn the HTML. It's simple. Okay, now here we are just going to start our editing. So now let me remove this code which is generated by the React application. I'm having only div. This is the things I'm already having over here. And even let me start renaming the things. So this is my app.js file we having, and here I can start my heading. Let's say H2M heading. And in the heading, I'm just adding a message. Welcome to React Bootcamp. This way I'm just adding a H2 tag. After adding this H2 tag, you will get this message. Welcome to React Bootcamp. And guys, when it is coming to the code, so we having the SRC folder. In the SRC folder, you will keep your React application code. In the public folder, we keep our publish code. So what are the code we will publish for the React application, it should be the part of the public folder. So the file which we are not going to modify, like where we are not going to write any code, we can access them directly. We always make the part of the public folder. So like we having the assets file, like we having the images, we having the public library, we having the JSON file, we having the favicon icon. So those files are the part of this public folder. Even my index.html is also the part of this public folder. So mainly the code will be right here in the src folder. This is a src folder where the code we will write. And when it is coming to the packages file, so we having this package.json, which is containing the dependencies section, which is going to let us know which React version you are using. So we are using here React 17.x, and these are the script available to run your React application. So we having here this script, React dash script space start. So whenever you are running the command npm start, so that time behind the scene it is using this script to start our React application. So these dependencies are required when we will publish a React application and we will run it into the production machine. And these dependencies, we having the dev dependencies as well, but here right now we don't have any dev dependencies because we are not installing the enzyme and the jest framework for writing the unit test cases. So when you will write the unit test cases, then we need the dependencies for the development environment. So those can be downloaded by running the command. You can open here a one more terminal. There is option a plus icon, and here you can add a one more terminal, and there you can install a one more dependency. You don't need to install it. I'm just showing you the way how the dev dependency you can download and you can use it. So I'm just going to install here enzyme. Enzyme we use for unit testing and React.js. So there, this is the link. This is the flag you need to mention here. npmi, then we having the enzyme, then we having the save dev. This is the way. So it is downloading the things. After it will download it, you will have a one more section dev for the dev dependencies where you will have this package information, which you might use for running the unit test cases. And unit testing we do in the dev environment, so that's why it is only limited to the dev environment. How the things are going to be added to the as a dependency packages, as a production packages, that I'm just willing to show you. Okay, now let's proceed to the next topic here. So these two library which I already explained to you. So when it is coming to the React.js, so in the React.js we having the various building blocks. So we having the JSX, we having the transpiler, we having the virtual DOM, we having the component, we having the props, states, wraps, and here we having the unidirectional data flow, or you can say one-way data binding. We having the event, we having the component lifecycle, we having the router, we having the forms. So these various building blocks we having in React.js, or you can say whenever going to start with React, these things you need to know. So obviously all of the things we cannot do in one session, but few of them I will try to show you so that you will understand how to get started with the React.js. So let us start with the JSX. So when it is coming to the JSX, so JSX is a mix of HTML and JavaScript code, because when it is coming to building the website, so for building the website, we use HTML markup so that we can display the things over there. So in HTML markup, we need to integrate the conditional statement. We need to integrate over there the for loops. So those things we need to integrate over there. So how the things can be integrated? So in that case, the React.js provide us the JSX syntax. So JSX is nothing. JSX is an abstraction over the React dot create element, because you can go ahead with the React with its native style. So in that case, we can go ahead with the plain JavaScript. But here we are not using the plain JS, we are using a mix of JS and the XML. So where JSX will help you. So JSX having the XML like syntax, where we can use the JavaScript code to integrate our if statement, to integrate our for loop, so that we can do the manipulation of the HTML markup based upon our requirement. And when it is coming to the JSX, so JSX code cannot be understood by the browser. So that code we need to transpile. So as a transpiler, we use here Webpack and Webel. So when it is coming to the code, what are the code we write here in the ES6 and the JSX, that is going to be transpiled by the Webpack and Webel into the ES5, because the ES5 JavaScript is supported everywhere. So the ES5 conversion we will do for our JSX code and our ES6 code, so that it can be run into the maximum browser in the market available. So this is the way how the transpilation is happening. So same thing will happen with our code as well, which we write here. This is the code which we write. And if it is coming here, this is my dependencies and this is my dev dependencies, which actually I'm willing to show. So Enzyme is a package which is going to be used in React unit testing. So unit testing we are not doing here, but I want to show you how the various other packages you can install as a dev dependencies. So here we are just going to start with JSX. So that's why the JSX I'm just explaining here how it is happening. So this is the React initialization process we have. So when it is coming, how the React initialization process is happening inside the browser. So what are the code we will write here using the JSX file, using the JSX transpiler. It is going to be transpiled into the plain JS. Then we need the React runtime and the React library, which is going to be together render into the browser. So React behind the scene is going to create a virtual DOM. This is a virtual DOM. So virtual DOM is nothing. It is a in-memory representation of our DOM. Then we having here the browser DOM. Browser DOM is a real DOM, which is going to be visible to you. So what are the HTML element we are having? Those HTML element is going to be displayed to us. So this is the way how the React application is going to initialize over here. And when it is coming, the virtual DOM is a in-memory representation of DOM elements, and that is synced with the real DOM and library React DOM. So whenever doing any change in the real DOM, this is going to be updated the real DOM. So this is the way, let's say you are doing any change using the state. So let's say I'm doing the change in this component using the set state method. So this component is going to be updated over there. You are doing a change at this component node. So whatever the child of this component we having, this complete section is going to be updated, but it's not going to update it at the top level over there. So instead of re-rendering that complete thing, we are only re-rendering this section. This section we are re-rendering over there. So this is the way how the virtual DOM is going to help us to render only that section of the DOM where the change happens. We are not updating the entire DOM over there. So who is going to taken care of this one? The diff algorithm is going to taken care of that. Or you can say diff algorithm is helping over there. So this is about the theory. I just explained here. You should know how the JSX is working, how the virtual DOM is going to be done, and the DOM is here.